माधव कुंज बिहारी।
जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी।
जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी।
जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी।
जय गोपी जन वल्लभा गिरिवरधारी।
जय गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी।
यशोदानंदन ब्रज जन रंजन।
यशोदानंदन व्रज जन रंजन।
यशोदानंदन ब्रज जन रंजन।
यशोदानंदन व्रज जन रंजन।
यशोदानंदन ब्रज जन रंजन।
यशोदानंदन व्रज जन रंजन।
जमुना तीरा वनचारी।
यमुना तीरा वनचारी।
जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी।
जय राधा माधव कुंज विहारी।
हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे। हरे रामा राम राम हरे हरे।
हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे हरे। हरे राम 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 हरे हरे।
हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे। हरे राम 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 हरे हरे।
हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे। हरे राम 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 हरे
जय
हरे।
जय प्रभुपाद 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 प्रभुपाद।
जय जय प्रभुपाद प्रभुपाद प्रभुपाद
जय
प्रभुपाद।
जय गुरुदेव 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 गुरुदेव।
जय जय गुरुदेव 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 गुरुदेव।
निताय गौर हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल।
निताय गौर हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल हरि बोल।
जय जय श्री राधा माधव भगवान की।
जय हो।
जय लक्ष्मी नरसिंह भगवान की।
जय हो।
जय गौर निताई की जय।
जय
जगत गुरु श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय।
जय
पतित पावन श्रीपाद गुरुदेव महाराज की जय।
जय
अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय।
जय।
ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय।
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 Narayanam Namaskritya
Narayanam Namaskritya
Naram Chaiva Narottamam
Naram Chaiva Narottamam
Devim Saraswatim Vyasam
Devim Saraswatim Vyasam
Tato Jayamudiraye
Tato Jayamudiraye
Nashtaprayeshu Abhadreshu
Nashtaprayeshu Abhadreshu
Nityam Bhagavat Sevaya
Nityam Bhagavat Sevaya
Bhagavati Uttama Shloke
Bhagavati Namashloke
Bhakti Bhavati Naishtiki.
Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtiki.
Welcome everyone to this daily rendition of Srimad Bhagavatam shlokas. Today we are going to discuss on shlokas number 25 and 26. Canto 6, chapter 11, text number 25 first. Nanak prishtham nachaparameshthyam
Nanak Prishtham Nachaparameshthyam
न सार्वभौमं न सार्वभौमं न रसाधिपत्यम्
Na Sarvabhaumam Narasadhipatyam
न योगसिद्धिरपुनर्भवं वा
Na Yoga Siddhira Bhavam Va
समञ्जसा त्वाविरहय काङ्क्षे
Samanjasatva Virahaya Kamshe.
Translation and purport by Jagadguru Srila Prabhupada. Jagadguru Srila Prabhupada ki
Jai.
jai ho. O my Lord, source of all opportunities, I do not desire to enjoy in Dhruvaloka, the heavenly planets, or the planet where Lord Brahma resides. Nor do I want to be the supreme ruler of all the earthly planets or the lower planetary systems. I do not desire to be the master of the powers of mystic yoga, nor do I want liberation if I have to give up your lotus feet. Please repeat after me. O my Lord,
O my Lord,
source of all opportunities,
source of all opportunities,
I do not desire
I do not desire
to enjoy in Dhruvaloka,
to enjoy in Dhruvaloka,
the heavenly planets,
the heavenly planets,
or the planet
or the planet
where Lord Brahma resides.
where Lord Brahma resides,
Nor do I want to be the supreme ruler
nor do I want to be the supreme ruler
of all the earthly planets
of all the earthly planets
or the lower planetary systems.
or the lower planetary systems.
I do not desire to be the master
I do not desire to be the master
of the powers of mystic yoga,
of the powers of mystic yoga,
nor do I want liberation
nor do I want liberation
if I have to give up your
if I have to give up your
lotus feet.
lotus feet.
Purport. A pure devotee never desires to gain material opportunities by rendering transcendental loving service to the Lord. A pure devotee desires only to engage in loving service to the Lord in the constant association of the Lord and his eternal associates, as stated in the previous verse, Dasanudaso Bhavitasmi, as confirmed by Narottam Das Thakur, Tandera Charana Sevi Bhakta Sanivas, Janame Janame Haya Ei Abhilash. To serve the Lord and the servants of his servants in the association of devotees is the only objective of a pure, unalloyed devotee. So this beautiful prayer by Narottam Das Thakur ji, and in front of me is this Prem Bhakti Chandrika. which is nothing else but the prayers, collection of prayers of Narottam Das Thakurji. So it has been gifted to me with love by His Holiness Govind Maharajji. So thank you very much, Maharajji, once again. So this handle of my laptop is little berserk, so my video gets stopped. So please don't mind. So now let us look at the next shloka. Ajat Ajat Pakshaiva Mat. No, I think it has to be sung like this. Ajat Pakshaiva Matram Khagaha
अजातपक्षा इव मातरं खगा
Stanyam Yatha Vatsataraha Kshudhartaha
स्तन्यं यथा वत्सतरा क्षुधार्ताः
Priyam Priyeva Vyushitam Vishana
प्रियं प्रियेव व्युषितं विषण्णा
Mano Arvindaksha Didrikshate Tvam.
मनोरविन्दाक्षदिदृक्षते त्वाम्
Translation: O lotus-eyed Lord, as baby birds that have not yet developed their wings always look for their mother to return and feed them, as small calves tied with ropes await anxiously the time of milking, when they will be allowed to drink the milk of their mothers, or as a morose wife whose husband is away from home always longs for him to return and satisfy her in all respects. I always, I always yearn. How do we pronounce it, Maharaji?
yes.
I always yearn for the opportunity to render direct service unto you. Purport. A pure devotee always yearns to associate personally with the Lord and render service unto Him. The examples given in this regard are most appropriate. A small baby bird is practically never satisfied except when the mother bird comes to feed it. A small calf is not satisfied unless allowed to suck the milk from the mother's udder. And a chaste, devoted wife whose husband is away from home is never satisfied until she has the association of her beloved husband. Om Timirandasya Gyananjana Salakya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Shri Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare. So I beg for mercy. I beg mercy from all the Vaishnavas and Vaishnavis present here, especially Maharajis, and then all the senior Vaishnavas, then all the God brothers, and everyone else present in this audience. Please bless me so that I can speak. And all glories to Guru Maharaj. So this prayers of Vrittasur and this episode of Vrittasur are kind of the choicest prayers in the whole Bhagavatam. So much so that the other Puranas, they are indexing on this episode of Vrittasur to point out that there is a Purana called as Bhagavatam. For example, I have read it many years back, but recently I found this. In Agni Purana it is said, Vrittasur vadhopetam tad Bhagavatam ishyate, which means let us actually in all the other Puranas, there is a reference to Bhagavatam. All the other Puranas, they are pointing towards Bhagavatam at a concluding part, that one must resort finally to Bhagavatam. And in most of those references, you'll find such indexing that you go and study that Puran in which the story of killing of Vrittasur is there, in which the episode of Vrittasur is there, in which Vrittasur is singing the choicest prayers to Lord. Therefore, this so Vrittasur story is not outstanding because it is appearing in Bhagavatam. It is the other way around. Bhagavatam has become outstanding on account of the presence of this beautiful episode of this beautiful devotee Vrittasur, and it is all the other Puranas and all the acharyas. Jiv Goswami ji is saying in Kram Sandarbha that actually this is the outstanding feature of Srimad Bhagavatam, that it has the episode of Vrittasur killing. So killing is should be taken not literally. This is actually not killing. This is something else. So now if we jump to the prayers of Vrittasur, Vrittasur is singing the nice prayers. And if we delve in these prayers, then we'll find so much emotions in these prayers. Vrittasur का ये जो prayers हैं, they are just full of pure love, and there is no other motive, uninterrupted, unmotivated love. So, Sanatan Prabhuji, is my voice clear?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Okay. Sometimes that was. So here, Vrittasur is saying that in the first shloka 25, he's saying, I don't want this, I don't want this, I don't want this. And in the next shloka, he says, I want this, I want this, I want this. So what does he not want and what he wants? So first of all, we have to have this little perspective very clear, and fundamentally it should be very clear to all of us that the Spiriton is actually full of activities. Spiriton is full of activities, and uh, this because Spiriton is a part and parcel of the supreme actor and enjoyer Krishna. So therefore, he constitutionally is full of activities, and so therefore the Spiriton uh, can choose to choose for those activities which are artificial, which are not according to his constitution, or he can choose to those activities which are according to his constitution, and in this way this Spiriton can go here and go there. But this zone of no activity zone, namely mukti, right, merging into Brahmjyoti, that is something which is utterly opposed to the constitution of the Spiriton, right? No activity zone. So like an electron can go to lower energy states or the higher energy states, but electron can never become neutron, in the sense that electron can never become energyless. Electron can never become chargeless or stable. So in the similar fashion, the Spiriton, it can go to higher energy level, means devotional activities. Actually, devotional activities are the real activities of the Spiriton. Jiver Swarupe Krishna Nityadas, eternal and constitutional activities of the Spiriton is devotional activities. And or he may resort to these lower energy states in the form of these material activities, dharma, artha, kam, moksha, or ascend to higher planetary system. In short, in nutshell, the spree of sense enjoyment, those also require activities, right? So these are also activities, That is also, even though these activities are artificial, these activities are not the real activities of the soul, but still they are at least kind of adhering to the definition of the spiriton. And spiriton is defined as composed of activities. But the no activity zone means no activity, means no variety, no activity, and no seva. That means the merging into Brahma Jyoti. That is something which is very hugely derided and despised by devotees. In fact, so much so, the devotees, they consider that the hell is better than this impersonal Brahman and the liberation, so-called liberation. And so therefore, if we look at this prayer of Vrittasur, he's saying, Na nak prishtham na cha paramishtyam na sarvabhaumam na rasadhipatyam na yoga siddhi apunarbhavam va samanjasva virahya kangshe. So in the descending order of the value of various achievements in this material world, right? In the descending order, uh, in the descending order, Vrittasur is saying, I don't want this, I definitely don't want it, I definitely don't want it, and I definitely don't want. So first he starts with Nanak Prishtyam. Nak Prishtyam means the ceiling of the sky. And that's how in Bhakti Rasamrit Sindhu Jiv Goswami ji is translating. Nak Prishtyam means ceiling of the sky, which means Dhruvlok. So I don't want Dhruvlok. Dhruvlok is the highest planet in the universe. Actually, in terms of altitude, Satyaloka is the highest. But in terms of value and significance, Dhruvlok is the highest, topmost planet in the material universe, because even though at the time of dissolution the Dhruv lok does not dissolve, उसमें प्रलय नहीं होती है. And Dhruv lok में great devotees are there. Dhruv Maharaj is there, and Sri Hari personally resides in Dhruv Loka in Shwet Dweep, Shir Sagar. So Dhruv Loka, even though it is part of this material world, but actually it is a Vaikunt Shasit Loka. It is actually pretty much a spiritual planet. And around Dhruvloka only, all the other nakshatras and planets, they are revolving around Dhruvloka. They are doing parikrama of Dhruvloka. So this Dhruvloka is a topmost planet in terms of its Vaikunt Shasit Pradesh. Like for example, in this country we have got this embassy or consulate, whatever, American embassy or American consulate. There, the laws of Indian Republic, they don't apply there. They are run by their laws, American laws, even though they may be in India. So similarly, this Dhruvloka, their material laws, they don't apply. This, for example, the pralay, dissolution, they don't know what is dissolution. So therefore, so Vrittasur is saying, I don't want that. I don't want that. So how can you expect me to go for the inferior lokas? And then the inferior loka, then he starts listing with paramishtyam. Paramishtyam, in many places in Srimad Bhagavatam you'll find paramishtyam means the topmost planet, which means Satyaloka in terms of height. The planet of Brahma, that also I don't want. Okay, then will you be satisfied with this earthly planet? At least you want to take this? No, I don't want that. Sarvabhaumam. Bhaumam is Bhumi, earthly planet. I don't want this earthly planet. I don't want to, even if you give me the enjoyment that Prithu Maharaji, Prithu Maharaji was like the emperor of the whole planet. I don't want that. Sarvabhaumam. Na rasadhipatyam. Rasadhipatyam, rasatal. I don't want to become the master of Rasatal or Patal Lok or all these inferior planetary system, and I want to enjoy like Bali Maharaj. I don't want that. Okay, then Yoga Siddhi. I don't want Yoga Siddhi. I don't want to go to that planetary, those planets, or even on Earth. I don't want a situation wherein I am the master of all the Yoga Siddhis and like all these Yoga Siddhis are there, na? Bahima, Lagima, all these different yogic powers are there. I don't want that. So Yog Siddhi are even inferior to Rasatal. And at last he says, I don't want mukti, apunaha bhavam, liberation from rebirth in a material body. So, which means if you see carefully, dear devotees, mukti has been placed at the very last. And that's what my point was. This no activity zone, right? Actually, it is nowhere in the agenda of a devotee. And this is not counted at all. It's mukti bilkul ek tuch hai. Mukti means no at least in the material world you have activities. In the material world you can still serve Lord Hari. You can organize AISSQs. You can organize seminars and conferences on and these daily Bhagavatam katha. But in mukti, after having merged into Brahma Jyoti, where will you do Brahma, ASSQ or all this Hari Kirtan is not possible in this liberated state. So I don't want, definitely, they despise this thing. And so therefore, in the descending order, Vrittasur is listing this in the descending order. Dhruvloka I don't want, Brahmloka I don't want, earthly planet I don't want, inferior planet I don't want, Yog Siddhi I don't want. But even in Yog Siddhi, there is an opportunity to do Hari Kirtan, to do Hari Bhajan. There is little opportunity. Like Hanumanji became so big and enormous, and he served Lord Rama. But in Mukti, there is no chance. So therefore, Mukti is very tuch. And Bhukti and Mukti, see, Vrittasur ka these prayers are so beautiful. Vrittasur is a pure devotee and outstanding feature of Srimad Bhagavatam. So Bhukti, Mukti, Siddhi, ये सब जो है, they do परिक्रमा of a pure devotee. भुक्ति मुक्ति और ये जितनी भी सिद्धियां हैं, ये सब प्योर डिवोटी के आसपास ही रहती हैं. दे ऑलवेज प्रे विथ फोल्डेड हैंड्स टू प्योर डिवोटी, प्लीज अडॉप्ट अस, वी आर फेड ऑफ these material people. They are just misusing them. Every now and then we want you to adopt us. And they do parikrama of pure devotees, but pure devotee has got no desire, na kankshate, has got absolutely no desire for any of these bhukti mukti. Bhukti, if Lord says, okay, you enjoy, you can still accept, but Mukti, no. Mukti means no, and no. So Mukti is in the last, is actually, it's not in the, even in the list for a pure devotee. And then in the next sloka, then he starts saying that what I actually want. So he says, I want to be always eager for your association, pretty much like how this wingless small birdies, these what do you call these small chicks, na? These featherless small birds. They anxiously wait for their parents when they will come back, and feed me. And in some cases, they are blind for several days. When will she come, or when will an insect come, or when will my food come? And this calf, he's also waiting. When will I be taken near to my mother so that I can start drinking the milk from the udders of my mother. लेकिन इन दोनों एग्जाम्पल में ये जो वृत्तासुर जी एग्जाम्पल दे रहे हैं, अजात पक्षा एवं मातरम खगहा, ये एग्जाम्पल में एक क्या कहना चाहिए, फेदरलेस बर्ड और एक यंग काफ के जो ये दो एग्जाम्पल्स हैं, इन दोनों में एक दोष है, एक फ्लॉ है. वो फ्लॉ ये है कि इन दोनों में एक मोटिवेशन है. Those birds and those calves, they're actually not waiting for their mothers. They are waiting for something else, insect and the milk, right? So insect and the milk are the cause of their so-called priti towards their mother. And therefore, in such case, this priti is not steady. Rajiv Goswami ji is saying this. This priti is not steady. There is a cause. It is not causeless. This pakshi, this bird is waiting for insect. It is not waiting for its mother, right? It wants the insect. Similarly, this calf, it is waiting for the mother, but then for some other reason. So therefore, this example is better than that insect example, but still there is a flaw there, a fault there, एक दोष है उसमें, cause and effect का दोष है. उनकी जो प्रीति है, इन दोनों की जो प्रीति है, calf and the birds, their love is not unconditional, and there definitely is not the bhav of serving their mother, right? They want something from their mother in the form of either the protection or in the form of all the various other objectives, so this the eagerness is not there, the craving is not, the craving is for milk and food and protection, the craving is not for serving their individual mother. So therefore, being unsatisfied with these two examples, Vrittasur then gives the example, the third example of a devoted wife. He says, like how a devoted wife, she causelessly, unconditionally, she serves her husband, and she anxiously waits if the husband is not around. The devoted wife, not normal wife, devoted wife. So she anxiously waits for him. She anxiously prays for his well-being, and when he's back, she takes delight in serving her husband. She satisfies the senses of her husband. She takes delight in satisfying the senses of her husband. And has my video okay? Has my video been stopped? Okay. So, anyways, that's better. So in this way, the wife takes delight in serving the senses of her husband, and her own senses get satisfied by the beautiful talks from her husband, jokes from her husband, loving talks from her husband. In this way, she's enjoying seeing the enjoyment in her husband. That is the idea. So Vrittasur, therefore, in the ascending order, he is giving the example. In the shloka number 24, 25, he's in the descending order. In shloka number 25, in the descending order, he's saying that I don't want this, I don't want this. There's some problem with this camera of my laptop. Please, I think it's okay to some problem is there with my. So in previous shloka, in the descending order, he told, I don't want this, I don't want this, I don't want this. Now in this shloka, in the ascending order, he says, I want to become like a featherless bird. But then he saw a flaw there. Okay, then I want to be like a defenseless calf who is every time waiting anxiously for his mother's milk. But there is a flaw there also. So then the third example, that wife, devoted wife, who is anxiously waiting for her husband, and she just enjoys serving her husband, and herself, that share of enjoyment that she gets for herself is in the form of the beautiful talks, loving talks, and beautiful gestures from her husband. Similarly, O Lord, I simply want to serve you. I want to be that desperate. I want to serve you. I am craving for your serving. More than you, I am craving for the serving of yours. The idea is actually, dear devotees, that seven mukha, जीव जो है वो seven mukha है. I have already told that Spiriton is full of devotional activities. More than Krishna mukha, he is seven mukha. More than Krishna, the living entity, more than Krishna, hankers for the service to Krishna, right? More than Krishna, that living entity or devotee, he craves for the service to Krishna. Sevan Mukha. Why is it not said Krishna Mukha? Sevan Mukha, Krishna Sevan Mukha. जो लिविंग जो स्पिरिट ऑन है वो डिवोशनल एक्टिविटी का पूरा एक पैकेट है और वो वही उसका वेल्थ है. So devotional activity is a real wealth of a devotee. So devotee does not want this Aishwarya. This is not a wealth. I don't want Dhruv Loka, I don't want Brahma Loka or this Loka, this word Mukti to, and I don't want the no activity zone. These are all artificial activities. I want to start with these real activities. But in the real activities also, not like not like these featherless birds or calf who are definitely they are devotees, but what kind of devotees? They are still like this Indra, who always rushes to you whenever he is in difficulty or whenever he is deprived of his throne. He rushes to you, doesn't he? I don't want to become like him. There is a fault there, dosh hai usme. Rather, I want to be like a devoted wife who's unconditionally and unconditionally, her priti is causeless, spontaneous, you know. And so therefore, now this is also an example. Some devotees are very smart. One should not fall into the trap of thinking this this marriage life is like a very godly life. Bhagavatam में लिखा है ऐसा. So let me get a devoted wife, and Vrittasur is saying, so that devotee wife will serve me unconditionally. वो example के रूप में प्रस्तुत किया है. Actually in this material world, love is not possible. So in this material world, everyone is suffering from this bodily concept of life. So therefore, love is only for Krishna and his devotees. But because we want to understand that pure unconditional love with the examples present in this material conditional world. So therefore, actually no example will suit to our purpose. But वृत्तासुर का जो भाव है, जो वृत्तासुर का जो आउटस्टैंडिंग जो भाव है, he just resorting to example after example, and but still he is not satisfied. So therefore, in tomorrow's shloka, then Vrittasur will open his heart completely. He will completely open his heart, and the speaker tomorrow will expose to us, His Holiness Bhakti Vishal Maharaj Ji will expose to us the turmoil or the beautiful turbulence which is always eternally erupting in the heart of Vrittasur. So that is a beautiful episode of Vrittasur. Let me see if I have got anything else. So therefore, what's the time? Okay, it's already 8:40. So thank you very much for listening to me. And now we can move towards discussion round. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Yes, thank you, and it was very nice and elaborate and detailed explained class.
Hare Krishna.
Yes, Hare Krishna. Yeah, so now we can go to the questions, and our Balramji is having a question. Balram sir, please unmute yourself.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, Dandat Pranam.
Hare Krishna.
One of the very, very nice slokas, and you explained it perfectly. So that's very nice. I have one question about the activities of the spirit and the devotional activities it does. So how do we understand that? So let's say here, let's say whoever gets mukti, Sahaja mukti, he will be doing no activities. But the other muktis, those are full of activities. That's what you meant, I guess. And then, so when we go to Godhead, we have the soul normally. They have no physical body, so that means there will be no physical activity. There will be no mind, no intelligence, so there will be no mental activities also. Only consciousness will be there. Consciousness will also be there when they are having the Sahaja. And what actually this devotional activity mean in that sense when Spiritan is in the spiritual world? How do we understand that? Could you throw on light?
Yeah, this not only consciousness is there, a body is also there. Spiritual body is there with senses. There are eyes, there are ears, there is a tongue. All the senses are there with all the souls there. They are not bodiless. They don't have the material body, but the spiritual body is there, made of beautiful components, Satchidanand. And in that spiritual body, in that transcendental body, the real service, the service to Lord is hurdleless, and their devotional activities are there. So many devotional activities are going on, like playing with Lord, always for the satisfaction of the Lord, right? Sometimes the motivation is that I want to go back to Golok Dham because I can eat tons of butter myself and I won't suffer from high cholesterol, or I can eat rasgullas after rasgullas and I won't suffer from diabetes. If that is a motivation, no, pure devotees go with a different motivation, that I will be preparing so many rasgullas so that Krishna can eat it. So rasgulla making is an activity there. Feeding Krishna is an activity there, and I will play with Krishna for the enjoyment of Krishna. I will make churn butter for Krishna so that Krishna comes and steals it. Actually, gopis want that Krishna comes and steals their butter. So churning butter is an activity. So they do in the spiritual world. These activities are going on: feasting, dancing, and all these activities are going on. And even in this material world, a pure devotee's body, it looks material, it is not material, it is completely spiritualized. It is uh, it is like swarup siddhi body, swarup siddh body. Material लगती है हम लोगों को, लेकिन वो होती नहीं है material. इसलिए it is wrong to say that
So
in
I mean, this
spiritual
analogy is, Prabhuji, this analogy is basically looking at the material activities.
which activities.
Whatever material devotional activity we are doing, the
Then
similar
what do you mean by material devotional activity? Devotional activities are always
with the
transcendental.
material body. No, no, devotional activities are
Could be
always
material or no material body. Devotional activities are always transcendental.
but I mean, whatever we are doing, if some devotee is doing some devotional activity, we see whatever we see is basically what we see from our eyes or senses, whatever we have, whatever activity he is doing, then we know. I mean, then we do the analogy that the soul is doing also similar activities, or how do we understand that that part?
Yeah, soul is, these are the real activities. Kirtaniya Sadahari. Holding this AIS cues, it is not a material activity. It is our eternal activity. Sometimes devotees come from that spiritual planet in this material world, and to assist us using these so-called material activities and spiritualize these activities. Actually, the idea is that these activities are not material anymore. They look material, but actually they are not material. Anyways, whatever, our Vrittasur using these examples to expose his heart out to Lord, that Lord, I want to actually become like this, like this, like this. But again and again, he's finding some or other flaw in his examples. And so therefore, for example, sometimes we say na कि भगवान का मुख बिल्कुल चंद्रमा की तरह है. तो हम इस संसार में सबसे सुंदर वस्तु चंद्रमा है. चंद्रमा is the most beautiful thing in the whole universe according to our calculation. But actually चंद्रमा से भी कहीं ज़्यादा मतलब भगवान, कोई कंपैरिजन नहीं है भगवान का ब्यूटी का. तो but using these material examples only with the devotees they somehow they express their feelings, but then at last the devotees only conclude that actually I don't know how to express my feelings, and no example will serve the purpose. Hare Krishna.
Yeah, thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Yes, thank you, Balaji, and thank you, His Grace Srikant Prabhu. Maharaji, please unmute yourself. Hare Krishna, Govind Maharaji, we are unable to hear you. Okay, we have lost connection. So anyone else is having any question regarding today's class, they can raise the hand and ask His Grace Srikant Prabhuji.
Maharaj is back. Hare Krishna, Maharaji.
Yes, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. So
Hare
wonderful,
Krishna.
wonderful to hear you after some time, and it's wonderful. Amazing comparison, ascending order and descending order. That was the. So my question is regarding this descending order, which you mentioned. Generally, if Vritrasur is anybody in general, the general principle is when you deny something, if you have denied the highest thing, then why one has to deny the lower thing? You know, see the sequence. The sequence in second sloka ascending. So even when if the denial is something, then I deny this, then the pralovan बढ़ा दिया जाता है ना. You denied the offer of 1 million. Then it's okay, take 2 million. I deny 2. There's a secret in this descending order, and that is the the level of Vritrasura. So is there something which is causing him to deny in this descending order?
Actually, thank you, Maharaji, for this beautiful question. Actually, this
I have one more
descending
question
order
also.
is an ascending order for hugely materially afflicted person. for a hugely materially afflicted person, we should not find it surprising if someone he finds this mukti to be more lucrative than going to Dhruvaloka, or this what do you say, this Rasatal or Patal Loka to be more lucrative than this Dhruvaloka. And it is so, because it is said that in this lower planetary system there is actually more enjoyment than heavenly planets. Yes, there is more sensory gratification. So from that level we can say actually for us it is an ascending order. But that is one way to understand this. Second way is that as if there is a conversation going on between Vrittasura and Bhagwan. Bhagwan says, okay, you don't want Dhruvaloka, but at least be satisfied with Brahmaloka. You don't want Brahmaloka, okay, then at least be satisfied with Arthaloka. You don't want that, at least be satisfied with this. But for Vrittasura, there is no at least. Vrittasura will not compromise with any least or any maximum. Vrittasura wants the best, or something which is which is completely out of this comparison list. For example, how can we compare light with darkness? I want to send you to a dim region. I want to send you to a dimmer region or dimmest, or this. No, I want light. So can we say that light is the best? No, there is no comparison. So therefore, Vrittasur is choosing, is hankering for something unique. That's how Maharaji I see it.
Yeah, it's beautiful, because as if the Lord is trying to tempt him. That was a beautiful point you brought. And so the Vritrasura is countering. In one sense, they say, Lord, you have, since I have rejected the offer of even Dhruvaloka, then why are you, what is the point of tempting me for the lower things? You know, there's a dim light, and this is very beautiful. So there's a very beautiful paradox involved in this concept, because he really doesn't want anything which causes any separation from the Lord. So from separation point of view, the context, the descending order could be also utilized. You know, separation, because Dhruvaloka, the Lord is available to some extent, but he's hankering for prema bhakti. That is the point here. So in Vaikuntha also, the prem bhakti, his incessant attachment to longing, the didikshita means a longing in the second sloka which you mentioned. The longing is not there. In Vaikuntha, okay, Lord, you are great, we worship you, diya bhakti, sab. But longing is not there. So from longing point of view also, so the separation increases more and more from Dhruvaloka to Parmesti. In Brahma's association is even less. Then, you know, the attachment or the involvement with the Lord is lower and lower and lower, and that's why he's rejecting in that sense, and ultimately the apunar bhavamba. That's the most horrible thing, or ultimate. But it's very fascinating. Both the shlokas, the descending and ascending order, is very fascinating. My second question regarding the ascending order which you utilized. So the longing is mentioned, correct? So from longing point of view, that is the pure devotional service, because the involvement, and you use the example of the wife, devoted wife, you know. But in that example, rather than doing all these activities, it's a longing, because the sadhaka, the longing is the real absorption, the obsession, and so how can the Lord, if someone desires with such a longing, you know, that is available only in pure bhakti, the concept. And so the material example given of wife, it's a very, very appropriate. It's Prabhupada also says, because the longing aspect, because without the husband, the wife doesn't like to decorate herself, you know. She doesn't have any taste in food or anything, she's just counting eagerly. Her intensity increases and increases and increasing. एक महीने बाद में आएगा तो एक दिन वो कैलेंडर पे नॉक करती कि okay, 1 day gone, now 29 days left, 28, 27, 1, and now the day he's supposed to come, she does Shringar and everything like this. So in that intensity mood, the Vritrasur is aspiring that I want to feel the Lord. I want to long for you that way. So longing is the ultimate message of Vritrasur's prayer. That until that longing, that desperation, and that lalsa, we would be stuck in Vaikuntha realm even, and that is not desired by Vritrasur. He's really wanting the longing connection to the Supreme Lord.
Yes, Maharaj. What is the question, Maharaji?
So question was, could you elaborate the difference between Vaikuntha realm to the love realm or longing realm of Vrindavan? The difference.
That is a very advanced topic. I am not qualified for that, but I'm pretty sure Maharaji will be speaking in his talks, and Maharaji has already spoken it. Thank you, Maharaji. I cannot, but yes, actually, the Vrittasur prayers are so interesting. Vrittasur is going in this way. I don't at all long for material attractions. I don't long for mukti, and I long for you, Lord, but not like that Indra or these featherless birds or these. I long for you, but then I realize, Lord, actually I long for your service more than you. So therefore, in tomorrow's shloka number 27, that is where Vrittasur will completely expose his heart. Actually, I want to serve pure devotees. So therefore, service, this longing of service is the real crux, is the real Bhagavat. It is more than longing for the Lord, it's longing for service. That is what Vrittasur beautiful heart is exposed to us through this Bhagavatam. What wonderful thing I like about this Vrittasuri story is that Vrittasuri story is not known because it is included. It's not known for its being included in Bhagavatam. Rather, it is the other way around. Bhagavatam is known for such a beautiful story of Vrittasur being present in it. Jai Vrittasur ki Jai.
Yeah. I was expecting some elaboration on that because this is Chatushlok. This is Rasamai. Our Goswami says that this is Rasatmak Chatushloki. And they are very much corresponding to the Sambandha Prayojan Abhideya, this context, and you covered pretty well. So on one side, the freeing from the three varga, and here he's totally entrenched into the Prayojan aspect, and the longing ultimately will be expressed tomorrow. So in that context, you wanted to say something? Dharma is a kama, because he's also kamna. Kamna means longing. So he's longing and what he wants. This is the Vaishnavas, the pure devotees, longing three varga. That is what I was trying to reflect. I was expecting some more elaboration from you, actually.
With your permission, can I invite humbly His Holiness Brahspati Maharaji in this way? We'll hear from him also. I wait up to 3 minutes. And if not Maharaji, then definitely you, Maharaji, can expound on it.
Hare
So,
Krishna, yes.
dear moderator, is it possible?
Hare
Today is
Krishna.
Sunday.
Today
Yeah,
is
Maharaj.
busy day for more busy day for us. Class after class.
Yes. So yeah, we do have 2 more minutes left. So whoever is going to speak. Okay.
Hare Krishna, Dhanvat Pranam.
Hare Krishna Maharaji.
What is the question?
Maharaji wants me to speak in this context of Sambandha Abhideyam Prayojan. And I don't know how to put it, how to frame it.
Both of you are expert in that area, you know. And My brain hardly works in the Sambandha Videya Prayojana mode. so I think I express my inability to add to whatever you are discussing. Only Maharaj can probably add if he wants to.
Maharaj is very expert. He just wants to relish, and we put the endeavor. Now I have to put the endeavor. So
No, Maharaj, yeah,
he
I am
was the
speaking truth.
ready-made.
I am
He was
speaking
the
truth.
ready-made.
Whenever I hear Sambandha Vidya Prayojana, I think, oh, somehow this is not in my brain, this Sambandha Vidya Prayojana. There is something called Sambandha Vidya Prayojana, but so it is the truth I am saying, it's not something.
So Tatvik, actually, Tatvik Chatushloki in the second canto, 9th chapter, slok number 30 to 35 or 31 to 36. This is a Rasatmak Chatushloki by Vritrasur. Can you imagine the biggest demon? He is given this credit because of his amazing sentiments. The fundamental principle of his that one may be endowed with all the positive aspects, but Mahat Aparad could create havoc in a person's life. On the other hand, one may be stuck with the worst situation like Vritrasur. But Mahat Kripa can cause the highest ascension to the spirituality. So this is the foundation of this Chatushloki of Bhagavatam, or in this Vritrasur. The point about Rasatmak, what becomes the attitude? What is the dharma of a pure devotee? He sees everything in Krishna connection. The Samandha Gyan becomes the dharma or the dharma. Then artha is the final destination. Like we say Paramartha, correct? So Paramartha is the longing which is expressed in this third sloka which Srikant Prabhu took. And the fourth slok which will come is the ultimate, as he also said, because without activating ourselves, we won't get the real achievement. It's like somebody may be holding on to a tijori with billions of dollars of all the wealth, correct? One can also embrace it, saying that I got the wealth, but actually he hasn't got the wealth unless he has the way to get the key to open it. Just by holding on to the case is not enough. So just by knowing that I want pure devotion, I want love of Krishna, but what will cause love of Krishna? That's the real thing which is coming tomorrow. And so that becomes dharma, artha, and the kama. Kama means longing for the association and the service of the pure devotee. That is a longing. That will definitely cause the achievement of the prema or whatever. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you for that addition. And yes, we can conclude for that.
So we can conclude. Yeah, thank you very much. So Vritrasur episode is really very, very nice. And we pray to Vritrasur to fill our heart also with just a small percentage of his small feeling, his enormous feeling, so that we can also cultivate this emotion. So Jai Vritrasur ki Jai. Jai Jagat Guru Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Jai Patit Pavan Shripad Maharaj ki Jai. Anant
Jai,
Koti
Jai,
Vaishnav
Jai.
Vrinda ki Jai.
Jai Ho.
Srikant Prabhu ki Jai.
Jai, Jai, Jai.
Very beautiful class. Let's see you all in tomorrow's class. Hare Krishna.